Hello there. Welcome to Public Relations at 5. In this video, we want to look at a question paper of June 2025. So we are going to look at question 2 on that question paper. So our question 2.1 reads, in order to communicate the gala dinners details, which are 5 internal communication instruments available for you to use. So of course, you need to come up with 5 internal communication instruments that can be used to communicate the gala dinners and details. So in terms of that, you see that we are going to raise instruments like the WAN, which is the wide area network. We can also have the local area network as part of that. Teleconferencing is also a part of that. So we've got a list that we have according to our answer section in terms of those whereby we have the instruments as face-to-face individual meetings. We also have local area network, which is the LAN. We have wide area network, which is WAN. Teleconferencing, a public address system, war newspapers, newsletters, paycheck inserts, bulletin boards. So these are some of the instruments that can be used. So basically, if you're looking at the local area network, it is a computer network that interconnects computers within a limited area, such as we can talk about a residence. So it facilitates the distribution of data and sharing network devices such as printers. So that is the LAN, that is the local area network. So in terms of a wide area network, again, it is a telecommunications network that extends over a larger geographical area, usually used in businesses. It's also used in schools. So that is a wide area network. And then if you look at teleconferencing, it is a live exchange of information among several people, and they do that remotely from one and they communicate that information remotely from one person to the other, but are linked by a communication system. So they will be linked to a communication system whereby they will be exchanging the information. So that is teleconferencing. So basically, those are some of the descriptions in terms of some of the instruments that we have there. So we go back and see in terms of the next question that we have. So if you come to 2.2, it is one of your agent staff members complained that they did not receive the meal that they pre-ordered. Describe 5 guidelines that you should keep in mind when dealing with the complaint. So, of course, if you go back to the complaint, we are seeing that one of your agent staff members complained that they did not receive the meal that they pre-ordered. So, the question says, describe 5 guidelines that you should keep in mind when dealing with a complaint. So what are we supposed to follow when we are dealing with a complaint is the question. So it says that these are the steps that we have. Acknowledge the employee, be calm and friendly, apologize, get clarity regarding the problem. Um, Take responsibility for actions and try to achieve expectancies and more. If it was at the company's fault, I handle with the attacked, and then make sure employee is happy. Keep a journal. We have that problem. We have that problem doesn't occur again. Follow up call if necessary. So these are some of the points that you're supposed to include in terms of our 2.2. So moving on to the next question. Next question is 2.3. State 5 principles of communicating with internal staff. What are the 5 principles of communicating with internal staff? So of course, I remember the internal staff, we are saying the staff that is within the business or organization. So what are the principles? So we have the principles as listed, whereby we are saying use plain and clear language when communicating with the staff. Consider a target audience. Choose the appropriate communication tool. Obtain feedback from staff to ensure that the message has been received and understood correctly. Be sensitive to people's background. So this is what we have in terms of 2.3. Then move on 2.4. Give one example for each of the following communication types below. Of course, downward communication is the first one, whereby downward communication, we are saying is a scenario whereby we have relaying of information from higher levels to lower levels. So that is what we have with downward communication. So it goes down as a sort of an instruction. So example is what is being asked by the question. So we can talk about the communication of the mission of the business. Is obviously something that supposed to come from above and is supposed to be followed. So that is what we have to downward communication. So we have them as listed 2.4.1. So this is what we've solved with mission, vision, as part of the examples. Then the second part, 2.4.2, we have got informal communication, and whenever we have got informal communication, it's also known as casual communication. And it's communication between co-workers in the workplace. So it is an unofficial in nature, and it's based on the informal or social relationship. So it is based on informal relationship, or we can call it a social relationship. So examples, we can talk about grapevine as an example of informal communication. So this is exactly as we have. Other section is whereby we have a grapevine. We could also talk about gossiping as an example. Then on 2.4.3, we can just refer back to see what we have. We have upward communication, and of course, upward communication now it is coming from lower levels to higher levels. Communication that is starting from lower levels, moving up to higher levels. And examples we can talk about submission of work is a part of examples of upward communication. We also have diagonal communication, whereby diagonal communication it is a sort of a hybrid between vertical and horizontal communication. So it is a direct dialogue between employees of different levels. So basically, we are saying it consists of flow of information between employees of different levels, and also they will be of different departments. For example, we have got someone from the sales department communicating with someone in the finance department. So that is the diagonal communication. And then lastly, we've got horizontal communication, whereby it's communication of employees at the same level. So when it's at the same level, it's now horizontal communication. So let's just tune to our other section and see in terms of the examples that we have now. Of course, on 2.4.3, we have upward communication, whereby we've got submitting of work, reporting as an examples of upward communication. Then from there, we've got diagonal communication. We've got example of the sales talking to finance as the example that we have. Then 2.5, 2.4.5, of course, that's horizontal communication. We are talking about secretaries scheduling meetings, depending secretaries of different departments, they are scheduling meetings. They communicate from that platform, so it becomes horizontal communication. Or it can be co-workers talking. It's also horizontal communication. So this is what we have on 2.4. So therefore, moving to the next question that we have, which is going to be our 2.5. So 2.5 are state and discuss 5 important subjects or fields that complement public relations. So you'd see that the fields that complement public relations, we've got the communication, journalism, marketing communication, advertising, business practice, business economics, human resource management. We also have business law. So these are the ones that we have. Then I'll move on to the next part, which is now 2.6. So on 2.6, being the last part, it is what are 5 personal characteristics of a successful negotiator? So when someone is a negotiator, we also need to understand what an individual is when an individual is a negotiator. So basically, it's an individual who conducts negotiations. And that is a person who has formal discussion with someone else in order to reach an agreement. That's a negotiator. So to be a successful negotiator, it means you are going to win at the discussion by reaching an agreement to the person that you are trying to negotiate with. So that's a success. So what are the personal characteristics of a successive negotiator? So we have the characteristics is also listed, answer section, sensitivity and openness to the needs, opinions, and feelings of all with whom one is negotiating, good speaking and listening skills, should be able to resist stress and pressure, have diplomacy, I must have patience, have sense of humor, ability to evaluate information and present persuasive arguments, be flexible, be objective, have integrity. So these are points that we have as the correct points. So I thank you for listening and hopefully the video was helpful. And please let's not forget to subscribe and share to our channel and share the link to all our colleagues who are doing publications at 5. As for this video, I'm signing out. We'll meet again in the next video.